Oh, yeah. It is the Matt Blaze Show. I am your host, Matt Blaze. I like to say a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are and listening to this, I will say good day to you, since this is recorded and you can listen to it at any time at your leisure. And if you may be watching it on Facebook, you will see the Matt Blaze logo, as I have not yet perfected the art of putting video up there. Not that anybody wants to look at me anyway. Who cares to see me sitting in front of the microphone here? I will give you a little sneak peek. See, we have that. There I am. There. That's the sneak peek that you're getting. That's all you're seeing. It's me in front of the mic. No big deal. Nothing else to see here, folks. Nothing else to see here. So I will go back to my little logo. There you go. I like the logo look. I don't need to be on the camera to watch me. I'm not showing any video or anything like that. And the camera, as you see here, let me go back to the camera real quick. The camera is not the greatest of quality. It's a webcam that I bought, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years ago. So I don't really like it that much. It's not really that clear. It's not crystal. I don't like it. I got to get another camera in here. I got to get a couple of cameras actually in here to catch all the action, because there's so much action going on. But I want to get cameras that are a little bit better quality than this one. As you see, I'm looking at it. It's not that great. So you're not seeing anything spectacular with this video. And so I'm not going to keep it up. Maybe I'll keep it up for a little while. Why not? You can watch something rather than just the logo. You can see me talking. It's no big deal. So I want to thank everybody for watching the other videos that I put out there. Last week I did the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award. Got a lot of comments about it. Got some views on it. I want to thank everyone who commented and viewed it. And I will tell you this, if Wade Robson, that piece of shit liar, has anything else to say, I will be right on top of it, because I believe to the bottom of my heart that Michael Jackson is innocent in all this bullshit. There are just two fucking liars, and I will be right on top of anything Wade Robson has to say about Michael and his legacy, because he's trying to ruin it, and we're just not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let it happen. The true fans of Michael are not going to let it happen. The people that actually have a fucking brain and can put 2 and 2 together and see the difference between fact and fiction will know that Michael was a gentle soul that would never hurt a child. And I will say this one more time. Wade Robson, if you want us to fucking believe you now, go take a lie detector test, and I'll be the first one to admit that I'm wrong. Other than that, shut the fuck up. Just shut up. And I know, I was thinking about this. I know Taj Jackson has been out there and defending his uncle, as he should be. Taj, a part of 3T. I was just watching the 3T video with Michael, the song called Why that they did back in 1995. And I know Taj has been very outspoken, as he should be. And I was thinking maybe I'll reach out to Taj and I will try to get an interview with Taj, and we could do a little hour-long interview, no holds barred, and I'll have him say whatever he wants. I'll ask him questions about his uncle, ask him questions about what really went on, what he knows, what he remembers. He was there in the thick of it all. So this is a guy, first-hand perspective, though he is part of the Jackson family. But you need that. That's what the documentary should have been in the first place. It should have been both sides telling their stories. That's what a documentary is supposed to be, not that piece of shit fantasy piece that fucking director, so-called director, Dan Reed put out. So I will try maybe and reach out to Taj Jackson and try to get an interview with Taj. But I want to thank everybody for liking the video, for watching it, for making the comments. Like and subscribe to this channel, the Matt Blaze Show YouTube channel, also available on iTunes. There's a Facebook page. My Instagram is at DJ Matt Blaze. Did I do a Matt Blaze Show Instagram? I think I did. So you could do a Matt Blaze Show on Instagram At DJ Matt Blaze is on Twitter because I never changed the Twitter handle. If you want to, I don't really post anything anyway. I just have it. But you can comment or you can send me messages either through the Facebook channel or any of the gazillion ways. Look up the Matt Blaze Show. There is a website that I am still constructing, so that's not ready. It just has the logo and coming soon, and that's about it. Anyway, there's a story that's out there that I wanted to talk about that I saw that struck me as hilarious about this Billy Bush coming back to television after 3 years, the firing of Billy Bush from Access Hollywood after the leaked tape of him laughing at Donald Trump from 2005. So if you don't know about the story, I'll give you the background really quick. The background is you have this Billy Bush. He was on the show for a year, I think, at the time as the co-host of Access Hollywood. And he's doing an interview with then Apprentice star Donald Trump, right? Big star on NBC, high ratings for the show. I used to watch it. I watched The Celebrity Apprentice. I'm not going to tell you I didn't watch it. So Billy Bush is doing this interview with Donald Trump. And in the interview, Trump starts spouting off because that's Donald Trump. We see it now, him being the president. We see the stupid shit that he says all the time because he always has to impress people. He always has to show that he's the big man in the room, that he's the hot shot. So he's impressing Billy Bush, which I don't even know why he felt the need to have to impress Billy Bush. Like, who the fuck was he anyway, even at that time? So he starts talking about being a celebrity and how he gets all these women and they'll do anything for you when you're a celebrity. He goes, I just kiss them. That's what Trump said. I just kiss them and you just grab them by the pussy and they love it. And Billy Bush starts laughing at this. And he's laughing because it's so absurd and ridiculous what Donald Trump is saying. How could you not laugh at that? Like, how can anybody actually take any of that seriously? It's just so crazy to think about. Oh, you just grab them by the pussy and they love it. Like, what the fuck? Nobody does that. You got to be crazy. Like, who does that shit? But then you do find out that allegedly there was some journalist touring around Trump's house, I think it was, and Melania went off to some other room, and Donald Trump pushed this woman against the wall, allegedly, by the way. This is all alleged. Pushed the woman against the wall and tried to kiss her. So Billy Bush, of course, didn't know this at the time. Nobody knew this. So he's laughing at it because it's so crazy to think of. And even when it came out, Donald Trump's response was, this is locker room talk. And I said, you know what? I believe him when he says that. First of all, nobody would ever do that shit in real life, number one. And number two, I know guys talk like that. Now, personally, I don't talk like that. But I do know a lot of guys that do. I hear this kind of talk all the time. And he's just trying to act like a big shot, like he gets all the women and he can just do whatever he wants because he's a celebrity. And Billy Bush starts laughing at this, like giggling about it, right? And that's the end of that. It was off camera. It was on tape, but it was not part of the interview. It was while the tape was still rolling. That's what it was, and that's what was captured on tape. So now Donald Trump is running for president, and this tape gets leaked out. And initially, according to Billy Bush, he felt like nothing's going to happen. He says he knew it was there. Everybody knew about it. At least everybody at the network knew about it. So now Billy Bush, after all these years, or 3 years now, that he's been exiled to doing whatever the fuck he's been doing for 3 years, I don't know, jerking off, whatever he's doing, he now gets a new show. He's now going to be on Extra. And he does an interview with Gayle King on CBS. And Gayle's asking him questions about the tape. What did you think? So I'm going to play some of this, and I'm going to stop it and comment as they're talking, because Billy Bush says some stuff on this, to me, that is so absurd and ridiculous, in the same way of him apologizing was absurd and ridiculous. So let's play some of this tape and see what it sounds like.
Yeah. So when it comes out, how did you think it was going to end after the tape is released? Did you think I'll get through this?
Well, I was told that you're good. Well, don't worry about it. It's not you. You didn't say anything. Remember, it was leaked on a Friday, and then Sunday morning I walked out that door right over there with my bags to go back to work, and the driver said, "I'm sorry, they've canceled the car." I said, "Oh, that must be a mistake." And I called my lawyer and I said, "We okay?" And he said, "Nope."
So let's go back to 2005 about.
So he's saying that that's how he found out he got fired. He thought everything was good. Supposedly, they told him, you didn't do anything wrong, you're good. Now, here's why I think Billy Bush got fired. So like he just said, the tape was leaked out on a Friday. This was Sunday. He was going back to work. In that time, after the tape came out, Billy Bush puts out an apology. Now, why would you apologize for something, they just told you you're good. You did nothing wrong. Why are you now apologizing for that? Why would you immediately put out an apology and say that you felt bad about it and you felt embarrassed? That's what he says. If you did nothing wrong, why would you put an apology out? He says, I put together an apology right away. I told people that I was ashamed and embarrassed. I thought, okay, we'll go and own up to this moment. Why would you own up to a moment that you had nothing to do with, that they just told you was not your fault? Why would you do that? And I'm going to tell you why. Because Billy Bush is a fucking phony. I didn't like him before. He was that guy that there was just something about him that I couldn't put my finger on it, but it was like, you know how you see somebody and you meet someone, or maybe it's just the way they look, maybe it's the way they carry themselves, maybe it's how they speak, but it's something about them that's just not right. It just doesn't sit well with you, and it just says douchebag. It just says, I'm a big fucking douchebag. I'm an asshole. That's how Billy Bush always came out to me in that way. That's how I perceived him. For whatever reason. I don't know why. Maybe because he was on a show like Access Hollywood and he's like kissing ass to every fucking celebrity because that's what you got to do on those shows. And he just sounds like such a fucking phony that I just never liked the guy. And someone told him, I don't know if he says that he put it together. I don't know if it was his idea. I don't know if it was a manager, a publicist, whoever, lawyer that said, hey man, you better apologize. And I think it's the apology that got him fired. Because you don't apologize if you did nothing wrong. Once you apologize, it's like you're admitting wrongdoing. But you didn't do anything wrong. So why would you apologize? Now let me get back to Gayle King. Let's hear what she has to say.
Who you were in 2005 and who he was in 2005.
It was my first year as the co-host of the show. You know, you want people to like you and you're a little eager. I became a very different guy. So the guy that got fired, no question, was a very different guy.
In 2005, did you feel you had to go along to get along? Why didn't you feel you could challenge him and say, you know, that's not cool?
I'll tell you why, Gayle, because in the real world, it doesn't fucking work like that. Come on, Gayle. You know, I know you got a job because you're best friends with Oprah, but the real world doesn't work that you're going to challenge a guy like Donald Trump when you're the small guy on the totem pole doing an interview for Access Hollywood. Donald Trump is the big star at NBC getting massive ratings for his show, and you're not just going to go, excuse me, Mr. Trump, but you know you really shouldn't say those things about women. That's not the right thing. Get the fuck out of here, Gayle. No one's going to say that. No one in their right mind would ever say that, especially a guy like Billy Bush, who's a big fucking pussy. He would never say anything like that.
Why didn't you feel that
Well,
at that
Trump's
time?
the kind of guy who would say, you know, forget Billy Bush. And then I might have gotten, hey, why did you lose Trump? He's the biggest guest we have. I mean, there was always a little bit of, you're a little anxious around him because you just wanted to end well and get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with that, Billy Bush. You know the reason why. It had nothing to do with was because of Donald Trump, and why would you lose Trump? It has to do with the fact that you never even thought of that in your mind. There is no way you're going to tell me now that when he was saying that shit about grabbing women by the pussy, that you were thinking in my head, should I say that's not right, or I'll just keep my mouth shut because it's Donald Trump and he's not the type of guy that you challenge. No way, dude. You laughed because it was so stupid and so ridiculous and absurd that he would say such things, and that is the reason why you laughed. It never once came to your mind that, I should tell him it's not right. That thought never crossed your mind. And Gayle, you're stupid for asking that fucking question.
You were sort of at the forefront of Me Too before it really started off.
If I want to extract a good thing from the moment, I think it was a tipping point. It was a very hot emotional time, and maybe.
No, Billy Bush. No, Gayle. You weren't, Gayle. Billy Bush was not at the forefront of Me Too. It had nothing to do with Me Too, Billy and Gayle. Nothing. Let me tell you why. Because this incident with the tape happened before Donald Trump became the president, which means it happened, I think, September, October of 2016. Okay? That's when this whole thing happened. That's when you got fired from Access Hollywood. That's when you apologized like a big chump. It was when in 2016, Me Too happened with Harvey Weinstein in 2017, a year later. And if you remember, #MeToo, the entire reason behind it and why it's called Me Too was because of women coming out saying, Me too, meaning I was sexually assaulted or abused. Me too. That's what it was about. It wasn't a tipping point, Billy Bush. It happened, this tape with you, or you being fired, and it came out in 2016, not in 2017. So you being fired was not a tipping point. You weren't at the forefront. It had absolutely nothing to do with Me Too. It sparked zero discussion about women, none of that. It talked about the president. It talked about, or I should say the president or the candidate, Donald Trump. He wasn't even a president-elect yet. And he went, it's locker room talk. Melania said, it's locker room talk. Even I said at the time, locker room talk. Guys talk like that. They puff. You know what they call puffing. They puff out their chest to act like big shots. Who's got the biggest dick in the room? And that's what Donald Trump was doing to prove he had a bigger dick than Billy Bush. That's all he was doing. And Billy Bush, being the chump pussy bitch that he is, apologized and then got himself fired because he's a fucking phony. Because a real man would have said, hey, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not apologizing. And I can almost guarantee you, I bet you he wouldn't have got fired if he didn't apologize. And if he did get fired, if he didn't apologize and he still got fired, then I would have said to NBC, listen here, you motherfuckers. I didn't do anything wrong. How fucking dare you fire me when this was the guy who said all that crazy shit? I was a victim. I had to deal with that awkwardness of being with this guy and had to sit there and listen to his bullshit, and then you fire me for what he did and for what he said? I'm the victim here, and how dare you fire me? Go fuck yourselves. That's what I would have said if I was Billy Bush. But no, because he's a fake, because he's a phony, because he does what he thinks people want him to do is the reason he apologized and the reason he got fired.
Maybe that helped trigger it.
Oh, it did help trigger anything.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Please.
Do you feel you're starting over?
I'm not starting over in the sense I think I picked up some missing elements in the last few years, like a deeper empathy, patience.
Please, a deeper empathy. Get the fuck out of here. A lot of shit has gone down since you and the Donald Trump tape in 2016, since it came out. You had the whole Me Too movement happened. Okay, and it had nothing to do with you. So this tape didn't give you a deeper empathy at all. I don't believe that for a second.
I think people that I'm working with now would say, boy, he's good to work with, because when things go, I don't freak out if something's not right. I say, don't worry about it. It'll get better.
Oh, please. It'll get better. The fuck out of here. You learned to be a little bitch. A little bitch boy now. You're begging for a job, and you'll fucking kiss anyone's ass just like you did before to get back on television. And apparently it worked because now Extra is taking a chance with you. And I'm not saying that you were bad at what you did, because what you do is fucking bullshit. You read off of cue cards. You have no original thoughts in your head whatsoever. You have writers that write these fucking questions for you, and you just sit there and ask celebrities what they know they're being asked anyway. None of this shit is original. None of it's going to be controversial. None of it's going to be anything that's just puff pieces about celebrities. That's all you do. Billy Bush acting like he's some kind of fucking martyr. He didn't do shit. He got fucking fired. And you haven't heard from the guy for 3 years. Now all of a sudden he's out because he's got a job on Extra. Now he's talking about everything and what happened. You know, he got fired. Trump went on to become the president. Because one thing that Donald Trump does is he doubles down on everything he says. Whether you believe it's right or wrong, he always doubles down. Which is exactly what Charlie Sheen used to do too. Take a page out of their playbook. Charlie Sheen did the same exact shit. Remember Charlie Sheen used to get accused all the time of like doing drugs and getting hookers, and he didn't care. There'd be a report somewhere, maybe on the Inquirer or maybe Access Hollywood. I don't know, any of these shows or publications, and they go, Charlie Sheen was in a hotel room in Vegas with 18 hookers and snorting cocaine off of their asses and drinking and doing drugs. And Charlie Sheen would go, that's about right. That's exactly what I was doing. Guess what? Story's dead right there. He agreed and goes, yeah, that's what I was doing. All right, now what? What do you got? What do you got? Know what you got? Nothing. There's no story now because he's not denying anything. So now they can't go to and let's find the hookers because Charlie Sheen's denying he was with hookers. Let's go find the hookers. Well, no, they're not going to go find the hookers because Charlie Sheen's admitting it. That's exactly what he did. He admitted it. And that's why you never heard anything about it. That's why he was always sort of skated through. That's why he didn't get a pass. He just said, yeah, I was doing that shit. So what? Who gives a shit? Who the fuck cares? That's why. That's exactly why Charlie Sheen always came out unscathed. You know, he got into that big war with Chuck Lorre of 2.5 Men, the producer. They got rid of his character. Ashton Kutcher took over. Charlie Sheen got another show. He still got money. He's still rich. I mean, 2.5 Men's been in syndication even before he got fired from the show. Believe me, he's still getting paid and will get paid for the rest of his life. But the reason that he always came out unscathed is because he doubled down. And Billy Bush, he should have doubled down too. And then he says, Billy Bush, he first watched the tape 3 days before it went public. I was shocked and alarmed and totally and completely gutted. It was awful. And my participation was awful too. I remember that guy. He was almost psychophantic. What the fuck are you talking about? You laughed at some bullshit that Donald Trump said. That's all. That's all you did. You didn't do anything wrong, but you apologized. And once you apologize, you admit guilt, and that's why you got your ass fired. Another phony is that Kathy Griffin. In the same way, these are people that just do what they think other people want them to do. Or they think this is what the people want. This is what they have to do to get back into the good graces of people. So they fucking apologize. Kathy Griffin holds up that bloody head of Donald Trump to get a reaction out of people, right? In a picture. And everybody goes crazy. Everybody says, look, you might not like the guy, but he's the president of the United States, and you can't hold up a bloody head of the president. And even people that were her friends that she thought would be totally on her side were like, yeah, you can't do that. Anderson Cooper, Chelsea Clinton. And then she goes and gets fired from the New Year's Eve CNN thing. Like, anybody watches that on CNN on New Year's Eve, like, fucking cares. But she gets fired, didn't anticipate the reaction. I mean, you did the whole thing in the beginning for a reaction. So you got a reaction, one that you didn't expect to happen. And then here's what goes on. She realizes that people are turning on her now. The people that were her friends are like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. and it was the wrong thing to do. And she goes and gets this lawyer, and they go, listen, Kathy, you have to apologize. Now, you held up a bloody Trump head to get a reaction, and you did. Why are you apologizing for it now? You apologize. I didn't realize I went too far. You knew you were going too far. That's why you did it in the first place. So she does this fucking apology, and then people start criticizing her for the apology. Because just like Billy Bush, you're a fucking fake and a phony. I never thought Kathy Griffin was that funny in the first place. She always tried to be Joan Rivers, who was one of the funniest ladies I've ever saw in my life. And Joan Rivers, believe me, if something like this would have happened to her, you know what she would have said? Grow up. Grow up. It's jokes. Get a life. That's what Joan Rivers would have said. She wouldn't have apologized for anything. And she never did. Because she said, it's a joke. It's jokes. Get a life. So Kathy Griffin goes on this teary-eyed apology, and they rip her apart for it, and then she unapologizes. Then she takes back the apology. Well, now you're really a fucking phony. Because you apologize for no reason, or for a reason that you didn't believe in, and now you're taking back the apology and saying how Donald Trump ruins my life. Donald Trump is ruining everything for me. Oh my God, look what he's doing to me, and I'm being investigated by the Secret Service, and look what Donald Trump is doing now. No, Kathy, you did it. What the fuck are you talking about? Donald Trump's doing this to you. You're the one that held up a bloody head of the president. So how can you turn around and go, oh, look what Donald Trump's doing to me? You did it to yourself. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is I'm just saying it's the same thing. Two phonies. Billy Bush a phony, Kathy Griffin's a phony. And now Billy Bush has got his show again back on Extra. Interviewing celebrities with the bullshit questions, kissing their asses, because that's pretty much what he's good at. So that's what I've been thinking about. That's what I saw this story, and I thought I got to talk about this because this guy is such a fucking fake. I got to point it out. And if you agree with me, you can like it. If you don't, you can dislike it, whatever. But comment on it. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud or on iTunes, same thing. Subscribe to the podcast. I don't like to really call things a podcast, but I guess that's really what it is at this point until I go live. And eventually this show will stream live. That's what I need. That's why I need to build. I am building my audience, and you can help me do that by liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel, to SoundCloud if you have that, to iTunes, download it on iTunes. That will all help me get this show out there, get the word out there, get me out there. And I could do more and more shows. And believe me, I got a lot of other things planned. I don't say I'm the type of person that I keep it inside until it's ready to happen. And then once it's ready to happen, that's when I will announce it. The only thing I did announce today was I'm going to try to get in touch with Taj Jackson to do an in-depth interview about all this shit that went down with the Living Neverland, since he does have the inside track. So that's what that's the next plan, and hopefully we can make that happen. So I will say this, please, once again, like and subscribe to YouTube, and until next time, next podcast will be coming soon.